Joining us today is Maurice Brand, Managing Director, Liquefied Natural Gas Limited, who will be speaking at IIR's Gladstone Resources Industry Conference on the 29th to 30th of June in Gladstone. Hello Maurice, thanks for joining us today.
Fine, thanks James.
Can you briefly explain why Gladstone has been chosen as Queensland's LNG hub?
Yes, well certainly, Gladstone is the closest established port for access to the gas source itself and has very good infrastructure. So clearly, if the industry was to proceed, then Gladstone would be a very logical location for LNG projects to be developed.
How is LNG Limited's Fisherman's Landing LNG project progressing?
Well, certainly from an approvals point of view, we certainly are capable of moving into full construction this current quarter, that is before June of this year. So from that extent, in great shape. However, due to the Shell proposed takeover of Arrow, the project no longer has secure any gas. So we are currently in the process of talking to various gas companies about gas supply, and at the same time we need to restructure the project and are currently in discussions with several parties as strategic partners. So we're hopeful that a few of these things will come together between now and the conference, and perhaps we'll have a few comments to make obviously at the conference.
Are there concerns that international LNG demand will dwindle as a result of the increasing viability of other unconventional gas reserves, such as shale, which are now being used in previously gas-poor nations?
Yeah, I mean, certainly that has been a concern, but my feeling at the moment is that that concern has eased a little in recent months. Mainly due to the global economy coming through the GFC reasonably well, and certainly in our discussions with potential strategic partners, we are not seeing any major adverse impacts. So I'm quite optimistic that there will be sufficient demand available to support projects at least of the size of our mid-scale LNG plant at Fisherman's Landing, which is some 3-odd million tonnes per annum.
How does your Fisherman's Landing project benefit the community as a whole?
Well, whilst it's seen as a smaller project and being mid-scale, and therefore will obviously have less number of staff and contractors involved, it nevertheless is an important contributor for several reasons. As it was planned to commence in late 2012-13, it certainly would have been the first of the new industry in Gladstone, would have given plenty of operational experience to the community as how an LNG industry would impact on the community, and certainly operational experience in bringing in LNG ships for the port personnel. So overall, pretty important. I still believe it is vitally important as the scale of our project is much more manageable, working on the established site at Fisherman's Landing as opposed to other proponents that clearly have a lot of infrastructure to invest prior to getting into LNG production in due course.
You're speaking at IIR's Gladstone Resources Industry Conference on the 29th to 30th of June in Gladstone. What will you be addressing in your presentation?
Well, obviously, importantly, everybody wants to know the status of the project and when one can move into full construction, and we'll be providing a comprehensive update on the status of the project at that time. It's a little difficult to predict exactly what that will be at the end of June, so we're working very hard to secure a strategic partner in gas supply, and hopefully we'll be in a position to certainly update all those that attend that conference with the latest information.
How important do you think events like this are for the industry as a whole?
I think they're very important. It gives people a focused opportunity to get together and to ensure that you catch up with all the current developments and even developments in what may be seen as unrelated industries, certainly have an impact in terms of planning your resources, contractors and so on moving forward. Plus, of course, the usual networking, is great. So I guess they become opportunistic to catch up with people that may not necessarily always be on your radar, but if they are there, it's a good opportunity. And I've always found that usually it does result in more ideas. It results in better connections and better communication generally, so I find them quite useful.
Maurice Brand, thank you very much for your time today.
Thanks, Jane.